Hello, we are Hannah,
Echo,
and Crystal, and this is a news, culture, and current events podcast from the perspective of three YouTubers.
Oh.
Hey, Echo.
Hey, Hannah. No, not Hannah. Crystal.
Close. What are we salty about today?
Today, we are salty about toxic fandoms.
and people getting people's names wrong, Echo.
Yes, I
That
know.
as well.
What is wrong with me? But your picture was on screen, so I was talking to you.
I was whispering like, yeah. It was my fault. I was just so excited to talk about this specific concept. I have been on the internet for many years, as we all have. This one gets me. This hits me in my heart. I'm close to this topic, and I'm very excited about talking about it.
It's gonna be an interesting time.
Oh yeah. So that's a good thing to say right before we get into this. We are these people. We love things too much. We get really intense about it. We obsess over things.
Yeah.
We just don't send death threats. I'm proud to say never once said a death threat because you know what?
Same.
Why?
Why would you
Raise
do
your hand
such a
if you've
thing?
never ever given someone a death threat on the internet.
No. Yeah, I would. Yeah, those are almost the only people I feel superior to.
Yeah.
People who spend their time sending death threats on the internet.
Yep.
All right, so let's do a little outline, a little persuasive essay stuff right here.
Sounds good.
In this whole podcast, we are going to be discussing toxic fandoms, and I have two main arguments that I want to say. The first thing that I hate is when they get a superiority complex. It happens a lot. They're like, ooh, I like this thing, so that makes me better than everybody else.
And it means they own it. That's the thing. Yeah. Like, they feel like it's theirs now.
Possessive, superior, it's a great time. A whole conglomeration. It's good. And then the second thing is shipping, which can really spiral into hell.
Yep.
Very
easily.
Shipping wars of old.
Oh yes,
shipping wars of season 4.
And I think we all grew up on the internet. Like, this is what you do when you're 12. Like, you ship things hard, but you gotta just be a nice person. I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And get some perspective. Like,
obsessing over fandoms feels good. It's like a drug. It's beautiful and addicting and great, and you just have to maintain it so that you don't become like a horrible toxic addict person.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's the only time I truly feel alive.
Yeah, same.
Basically.
Yeah.
Same, man. It just gets a bit out of hand on both of these fronts when I don't really know. I can't pinpoint exactly it, but it's almost like if these two people don't kiss, I'm gonna die, and I'll fight you if you disagree with me.
Yeah.
See, I've felt that way. I have felt that way before. And I feel like this is very specific as well in the recent years to LGBT culture and stuff as well, because a lot of the ships that are so popular are gay ships. They're man, woman ships. Because we have no representation and we crave it so bad. We want to see people like us on media, which is not bad to want. No. But it's very bad when you push it in such a way that if they hook up with a person of the opposite gender, you send death threats to the actual person that is playing a character, for example. Or the writers.
Or whatever.
Yeah, it's not cool.
Or the people who disagree with that pairing. And it's just kind of like... So, okay, I do supernatural summaries, in case you did not know that, listener. And when I started to do them, every single video, I would start getting comments, oh, I can't wait until season 4 because DCL. And if you don't watch Supernatural, you don't know what that means. But it gave me anxiety because I was like, oh, no.
You're like slowly approaching it. And then there's like all the Wincest stuff, like those two ships.
If I didn't handle it right, I would have gotten death threats. And so I talked to you guys about it. I was like, season 4 is coming up and I don't know what I'm gonna do, because believe it or not, I don't ship DCL or Wincest at all. Like, even a little bit. I respect it because it's a huge part of the fandom, so I include it in my summaries, but I'm not here for it, even a little.
I shipped SDL.
That's cool. And that's okay. And that's totally fine.
See it.
I think they're so cute together.
Mm-hmm. And that's just fine. You know what I mean? And that's great. But there are people out there who would cut me and for saying that, you know? So, and I ended up coming up with a nice little workaround that became a joke, subtext joke, which is a supernatural fandom joke. It's like, of course they like each other. It's subtext, and that's how you justify every supernatural ship ever. And so I just made a subtext joke, and that got me by. But even so, even with that, I still get comments of like, you only do subtext when it's about Cass and Dean. You don't do subtext when it's about Crowley and so-and-so, or Sam and Dean. I'm okay, we're fucking lax, all right? Like,
if you don't ship it, they try and make it a whole thing of how you're like homophobic and stuff.
Yeah. It's like, and you have to pick a team.
Listen,
it's
friends.
Like, calm the fuck down. Or people are like, oh, I hate it. Why I can't escape DCL. Ugh, just another. You're just another one. And I'm like, I'm actually not. Surprise, surprise. I don't ship it. Like, I just like. Oh my god.
Yeah. It gets to this point where you can work around it if you make fun of the fandom almost. Like, if you acknowledge that the fandom,
in a certain way.
While making sure they know that you're part of it.
Yeah,
you can't make fun of them
ironically
without
poke at the fandom.
Part of it. Yes.
Yeah.
I, on the other hand, am balls deep into Dan and Phil fandom. I've been here for years. Hello. This has been
it's undeniable
my branding.
For you at this point.
It's on my famous birthdays page. I can't get away from it. This is where I started. And you know what? I don't want to get away from it because it is where I started. It's like a band with their most famous song, like Panic at the Disco with I Write Sins Not Tragedies. Like, that is their song. That's the song. And, you know, fucking Smash Mouth with All Star, that's the song. Yeah. That's the song that made them. Dan and Phil are the people that made me. You know, here I am. I may hate the song now, but, you know, I'm just kidding. I still love them. I think they're great, especially in the recent years. They've been kind of embracing their fandom a little bit more, and it's become way less toxic, I feel like. Because I started back in 2012, 2014 days. That was the most toxic fandom I've ever laid eyes upon. I think Dan and Phil in 2012, they weren't cool with it. The fans knew they weren't cool with it, but they wanted it so much they couldn't not force it. And it made everybody so uncomfortable because they just started living together, and it was just, oh man, I can't imagine how uncomfortable it was for them.
Really quick, for people who might not be familiar with Dan and Phil and are unfamiliar with what you're talking about, give us just a little bit of background.
Okay, so I'm sure a lot of people already know who they are, but if you don't,
I would be shocked if someone didn't.
I would be pretty surprised too. Very famous YouTubers, Dan and Phil, Daniel Howell and Philip Lester. They've been on the internet. Phil's been on there for at least 10 years now, and Dan's been on there for a little bit less. Yeah, it's since the beginning. OG YouTubers. And then around 2009, they met up and they started merging their brands together, not on purpose, but it happened.
They were just friends, essentially.
They were very good friends. They're besties. They're lifetime besties, and people want them to be married so much,
like hardcore,
which I can understand. I can't ship real people. I can't let myself because
that stuff weirds me out.
I do want it because I want them to be happy, but I can't ship real people because it feels like it's just not my place to say they belong together because I don't know
because
them.
It affects their real lives. It's like with what is it? Like with Destiel, I can wrap my head around Destiel. I cannot wrap my head around, what is it?
Misha and Jensen.
What's their ship name?
Yeah.
Jissa, I don't remember what their thing is.
Misha, Jekyll, I don't remember. But the ship of like Misha and Jensen, the actual actors, because they do have like a cool like friend relationship where they're like, I don't know, they're close. They're good friends. They've been on this show for like over a decade working together. And so they're really funny on stage together, and they're just good people. And so I can understand why people would want to ship them as human beings, because they're both great people. But they're real people with wives and children and families. And it's like, they are not in a relationship. They will never be in a relationship.
You can look at them and be like, oh, they'd be cute together, but like literally, you don't even need to say that out loud. That can just be a thought that stays in your head. Did you know you can have thoughts and keep them there? You don't have to push it on them. You can talk to people about it, but like, the more you talk about it, you just have to understand it's gonna get back to them. Anything you say on the internet, you have to know that it's a possibility that they'll see it. And the more fan art you make, and it's very uncomfortable it destroys friendships. You just have to know that it's a possibility that you will make it so they're uncomfortable to be together in the same room. You just have to keep that in mind as a possibility. And do you want to risk that? Like, is that something you want to risk? I don't ever.
Don't do that.
And this is as somebody who's read a ton of fan fiction about real life ships, because I love reading them.
Well, that's it's like there's one thing to indulge in the idea of it. It's another thing that it actually affects people's lives. So back to Dan and Phil, the fandom with a PH. Like, it got to the point for a while that they couldn't collaborate with any female.
Nope. Oh,
the female would get death threats.
Was that a thing?
Yes.
Oh my god, people hate Kat.
I feel like I actually saw some of those.
Oh my god.
I saw her post something about that.
And that goes into affecting people's actual relationships between friends. That affects their ability to create content for their job.
Yes.
That affects their ability to network with other creators.
Yes.
Like,
they were so isolated from the YouTube community for so long, and I feel like this was a big part of it as well, because they couldn't collaborate with people. Even, like, it wasn't just the opposite sex, it was anybody. Because, yes.
That doesn't surprise me.
They couldn't touch anybody that wasn't each other. It's very uncomfortable. And some of you who aren't that deep into the fandom might be like, I didn't hear anything about that. Oh my god, go on Tumblr for one goddamn second. And
it's like, I've been here. Where have you been?
Where have you been?
You've dug the trenches.
I was there in the foxholes. Where were you when the fires were set?
Where were you?
Where were you when the towers collapsed? My god. I was there.
See, this makes me kind of hopeful. I don't know if, like, their audiences are getting older, but I feel like nowadays I see a lot of hardcore fans being slightly less toxic, or more vocally less toxic. Like, there was a point where Tom Scully made a vlog, and he was like, oh, I'm going to go collab with Dan and Phil, and he, like, jokingly put, like, a Google Maps thing on the screen where he was, like, walking, and it's just part of his vlog, so it looks like he just showed where they live. And it was just a prank. It was just like, it was a map to nowhere. And then in a later video, he was like, I was expecting everyone to, I don't know, like, search for this and stuff, and everyone was like, Tom, you have to take that out of the video, take it out of the video right now. And everyone was just really protective of, like, their privacy.
Good.
Yeah, and it's like, I love that.
I love that as well. Protect your people. Stand up for them. Say, that's not okay for you to do. Like, if I love that, but don't send don't send Tom death threats for a joke, you know, stuff like that. Like, oh my god, you know, just, like, chill out, protect your people, but chill out about it as well.
Yeah, man. Relax.
That's like the only thing I could say is just, like, chill a little bit. Like, everything is cool, but like, just be calm about it.
It goes to, like, fucking going to people's houses, though, like,
all the
on
time.
That subject.
Yeah.
You have enabling parents for toxic fandoms aren't good either.
This was a big deal. Swatting and doxing is a huge deal on the internet right now. But okay, so going to famous people's houses, don't is the thing I have to say.
Unless you're like the Amazon delivery person and you're dropping off a package, don't go to their houses.
Nope. You can do it if you need to for your job, I guess. But that's the only time. Yeah. This was very recently a big deal with Jenna Marbles and Julian. They moved. Did you see their new house, by the way?
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
I haven't watched it yet.
It's so beautiful.
And
I'm so happy for her.
Jenna's been saving for so long. Like, she's so worried that everybody's gonna think she's just like wealthy bitch showing off her stuff, and she's like, I'm not. I've been saving for so long. I promise. I've got a mortgage just like anybody else. And I'm like,
even if she was, she deserves it. She deserves to be happy.
She's the viral queen. I love her. All right. Anyways, so their old place, people were showing up at their house and like knocking on the door and expecting to get pictures and signatures and stuff. We should also point out
this was following the whole Jake Paul thing, the Paul brothers thing, their house, because they were here's my address, come see me.
Speaking of,
come stand outside my house, essentially.
The podcast I've mentioned a few times now, Rob Bell's podcast. Apparently, he lives on that block.
Oh my God. Poor dude.
He made part of his podcast. There was like him talking about the internet part 1 and the internet part 2. The internet part 2, he touched on, he never said it was the Paul brothers, but I was like, oh shit, he lived on the same block. And he was just talking about parents who would just sit on their lawn and or other people's lawns from across the street. And he was talking about the chaos that happened and how like there were fires and how he actually saw a handful of parents that he knew like as he was going in and out of his house, and they just had looks of shame. Or it was just like, it was people, actual parents, so many, like hundreds, had come from across the country to this block to have their kids try to go into this house of these strange 20-year-old men. And this guy, the Rob Bell, was like observant of it. And he has a family. He has a daughter and a son and a wife. And like, this was a residential neighborhood.
Jeez Louise.
They said that there would just be just dumpsters of like hundreds of giant teddy bears that would just get set on fire and like that kind of stuff every day.
Jesus. Okay. If you're a parent that does this, like really think about the lesson you're teaching your kids. Like,
yes.
Yes. I know. I don't know. That's so strange to me. I don't even know what to say about that. That's
for like
awful.
A kid, you can kind of like push off and be like, okay, they're still developing. They don't completely understand the empathy. They're still learning how to put themselves in the perspective of other people. Yeah. But parents, like you should know better. Yeah. You're supposed to be teaching this like young person to have empathy for other people.
I don't know, man. I've been traveling for a little bit. I'm in Ireland right now. I've been traveling. Nothing will make you believe less in the human race than going on like a tour bus or like touring or traveling at all around tourists. We are all just sheep. We need to be sheeped around. Nobody has any common sense. They will stand in the middle of the road for goddamn hours if you tell them to. Like, I know. It's so grown ass people are just like, where do I go? What do here? Like, my God. What? Use some brains here. Also, it's mostly old people. Like, older people. Even, not even that old, like 50s, 60s. Nothing in there. There's nothing going on in the brains.
What's worse is when they don't know how to navigate and stuff, and they feel like they own everything.
Oh, they stand out on the road.
When they have this sense of ownership.
They make a barricade of idiots. They all spread out across the sidewalk, and they're like, this is where we're going to stop and look at our maps in the middle of the... Just get off to the side. I'm not going to get mad at you for looking at a map. Just move. Okay, I'm on a tirade of something totally different. But I've just lost all hope in anybody having any common sense ever. Any millennial I've met, though, they are on top of things. They are savvy. They are ready to go. All these middle-aged people, I'm like, the parents, I don't expect anything from the parents anymore.
What are you doing, Susan?
Susan.
I'm just saying, I mean, even if they might not be up in the up, and times are a-changing, I mean, really, it's going back to, like, what night? Let's say, the time. Let's set the scene. The time is 1978. Who the fuck was popular in 1978? Somebody.
Yeah,
some
somebody
band.
probably.
Pick a band. That one. That one band. They were fucking popular.
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin was popular then. Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, let's
we'll
just
run with
go
it.
with that. Yeah, just go with it. Roll with it.
You are a boomer. You love yourself some Led fucking Zeppelin.
Yeah, I do.
All right? You've been following them since they started.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
At any point, do you think I should get their address and go there?
Yeah.
Would your parents condone that? No, they would look at you like you're insane.
Yeah.
I just even the generational gap. I can't get behind the idea that they think this is a good idea.
It's because of the internet. It's because they don't understand how the internet works. They think, oh, this person put their whole life. They put their whole life on the internet. Clearly, it's on display for everyone, right? In every aspect. And it's like, no, there's this barrier that is the screen where it's like you upload your shit. You don't want people to come to your house.
Oh my god.
It's hard for me to grasp, man.
I can't understand it.
Because the same argument can be said of any celebrity. Oh, well, they should expect that because they're a celebrity and that's just what comes with the territory. No. And it's not.
Yeah, that is so not the answer.
It's never been that way. Like,
we should strive for that to not come with the territory because are you kidding me? Like, I guess A-list celebrities have enough of a fan base where you're never going to be able to control that. But, like, just don't be that person. Just don't be that person. And even if everybody else is doing it, don't be that person. Every individual person has to be responsible for their own choices, even if everybody else is doing it. Just because everybody's showing up at the Jake Paul house doesn't mean you have to go and be a dumbass standing in the middle of the street. Don't go live that life. Let the other people go live that life. You're better than that.
Yeah. Ooh. And that reminds me of, like, talking about celebrities and it comes with the fucking culture or whatever. Rose from Star Wars.
Yes, this is a big deal recently. So if you don't know, did you guys see the new movie?
Yeah,
I saw the new one.
Not Solo. I didn't see Solo.
I haven't seen Solo either. She's not in that one.
Yeah.
I
saw the one she's in.
Yeah. The Last Jedi. Yeah,
I saw
that the one? That's the one?
That one's good.
Names are hard, but the one that she was in, the most recent one, it was pretty solid. It was super long.
I liked it.
It was pretty good.
I liked it.
I thought it was good. I heard a lot of mixed opinions. Some of the parts were silly, but I felt like they were classically Star Wars. I like Star Wars a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're solid movies. I don't think they, like, hung the moon, but I think they're good. Anyways, Rose from that movie, she's kind of a pointless character. She's just kind of there. But I thought she was pretty badass, and I was mad that she was there. So the actress that plays her has been getting a ton of hate because people don't like the character. You have to remember, she didn't write the character.
Yeah.
You know? She's just playing that as an actress.
And another, I haven't seen this talked about much, but I've just, knowing what I know about the Star Wars, the new wave of Star Wars fandom, a lot of people really shipped,
yes.
What the hell is his name?
Poe
and... Finn.
Yeah.
What's it?
Finn.
Yeah, a lot of people really ship Poe and
Finn,
Finn, which are two male main characters from the new movies. And Rose, as not only did she not really serve a purpose, there was this point in which they randomly, no spoilers, but it was just kind of like a forced romance a little bit. It was just kind of like, oh, okay, I guess, sure, fine.
Yeah, it felt a little out of place.
It felt like they were trying to stop the ship a little bit.
A little,
is what it kind of felt like.
Oh, I really hope not.
It didn't
honestly,
go over well,
though.
And I think that's a part of it too. Not only was her character not very useful, it encroached on one of the very prominent ships.
Pretty much the only prominent ship that...
Yeah, the Poe and Poe. Finn and Poe.
It's the only...
Poe and Pin. Pick your ship name. It's one of those.
Except for Rey and Kylo, people ship those. I ship them as well, actually. I think they're cute.
Yeah,
I can see that.
I can see it.
Just the last movie did it for me. I was like,
Yeah, I can understand it.
I can see either of the ships, honestly.
Yeah.
Poe and Finn, Rey and Kylo,
I think they'd be cute together, but I don't care if they're not going to do it. I know, honestly, and you can have that ship whether it's canon or not. That's what people have to remember, is you can still write your fan fiction and draw your fan art, even if they're not kissing in the series. Who cares?
And it escalated to the point that Kelly Marie Tran, who plays Rose, had to delete her Instagram because she was getting so much hate and death threats for something that she had no control over.
She was like, it's not worth this. And I totally understand that feeling. As somebody who, as soon as I did my 21 Pilots, that's another kind of toxic fandom. My 21 Pilots video, I was just having a good time. I didn't even say anything, even a little critical of anything. And I got so many death threats just because I was goofing off about 21 Pilots. Jesus. And I've gotten death threats to the fandom as well.
Taking it seriously? Really?
Yes. And I didn't say any strong opinions about anything, and I got so many death threats. They were not having they serious fandom times.
Oh my goodness.
People particularly did not like the fact that I put on some Josh Dunn makeup. I did the red under my eyes, and I was like, I'm having a good time. And they were like, no, you can't. It's illegal. No fun zone.
Let people have fun. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I don't think they would approve of that. Just think, what would Josh Dunn do? Come on, guys.
That's what gets me. Like, actually, Mark Hamill himself, on Twitter, went on and he was just like, he took a picture of him and Kelly and it was just like, what's not to love? Get over it.
It was cute.
Nerds or fanboys or something like that. But he's like, he is the dude who owns his character. He's like, what is it? Luke Skywalker hates you in canon, just so you know. Go fuck yourself. Like, that's Mark Hamill. You know what I mean? Yeah. And
I love people who do that, by the way. That's my favorite.
Me too. I love it so much. To the point that the actual, like, OG fandom man is like, fuck off. It's not her fault. Like, you have a problem. Yeah. And that's the worst part. It's like when somebody does something or sends a death threat in the name of the thing that they love. Like, I will bet you money, guaranteed, 99% of the time, the person that you are quote-unquote defending with your hatefulness is 1,000% not on board with whatever the fuck you just said. Yes. You are going to make them hate you if they ever find out that you said that.
They're not going to be like, oh, you defended blah, blah, blah. No. You are just... think about what you're doing for a second. You're attacking a little actress who got her dream role.
Yeah.
And you know what? She didn't write that role. She didn't have anything to do with the content that she was portraying on there. You're just attacking some actress who was really pumped about a role. And she did her best. And my God, she did well.
She did good.
I thought she did
really good.
She did really, really well.
If you're mad at the writers, go write your own version of that movie.
Yeah.
I think, like, there's nothing wrong with doing some fan fiction about how you think it should have gone. Do how you think it should have gone. And you know what? If people agree with you, you'll get wildly popular.
Yes.
then you've made a constructive thing out of this movie you didn't care for.
I mean, that's how you do. That's the whole point of fan fiction in the first place. Like, I was in fan fiction in high school, like 14, 15-year-old me who didn't like certain parts of a fandom and got into it. Stepped away from fan fiction for a while until I played Final Fantasy 15. No spoils. The end shattered my life. And I didn't like it. So I went into fan fiction. And you know what I mean? And so you start...
You fixed it.
You fix it. Like, that's just so... You don't fix something as reality. You don't do that. Like, you don't pitch a fit and go scream at somebody about it. You just go in... and change it yourself, and then other people agree with you, and it's not toxic, and it's nice.
It's a great time. And that being said, I think there's a lot to be said for people who are, if a YouTuber or celebrity states that they're personally fine with fan fiction being wrote about them, I send it to them then. Like, if they're on board.
Yes.
I'm talking about me specifically also.
No, honestly.
Too. Love
me
it.
too. Same.
Yeah. Okay,
I've never gotten to fan fiction, but if I did, I'd lose my shit.
So I am eternally, like, in my heart, I know I shouldn't be, but I am kind of jealous of people like Misha Collins and Jensen Ackles and Dan and Phil and all these people who have these, like, amazing fandoms who are like, look, I made this meme and I put your face on this thing. And it's like, I wish I had that kind of branding where it's like, people cared about me enough to see me in that light, but it's like, I know I'm not in that light and it sucks. And it's
it comes with its own set of negatives. I'm sure.
I've had a good amount of fan fictions.
Oh my God.
And they're my favorite. I read them all, by the way. If you've made a fan fiction about me or included me in somebody else, that, like, even if they just, like, slip my name in real quick. I was in a YouTuber, like, camp series, and I was like, this is my favorite thing in the whole world.
That's adorable.
Interacting with other YouTubers, I was like, I want this life. I want to live this actual life. You're helping me roleplay my fantasy.
We can speak. I'll speak for all of us and say, if any of you write or see written fan fiction of any of us, let us know immediately.
Send it to us.
Yes.
We want it.
We're gonna read it. My personal favorite. Did you search for yourself?
I've searched. I don't have any fan fiction. I think there's like one, but fan art I get a ton of, which I love. Is like my favorite thing ever. Fan art's my favorite.
I probably screenshotted it and kept it in my phone if you've made a fan art of me, because I love looking at it. It's just so... You guys are so wildly talented. Like, it's insane. My favorite fan fiction that was ever the weirdest... I think weirdness
I read this one.
projects onto other people.
I know which one you're talking about.
I eat Tony.
Yes! I read that one.
I've not heard of this one.
She murders Tony.
I murder and eat Tony, and I think it's my weirdness. I'm gonna take responsibility for this as my weirdness projecting, but I cannot remember the girl's name that wrote it. But it was my favorite experience. I just thought it was the funniest thing. It was very seriously written, and I was like,
"That's hilarious."
I am in love. I'm in love. My favorite thing ever. And so, as we're saying, like, don't be a crazy person, there's specific people you can be crazy to. I am one of them. Yeah. Don't show that.
I mean, there's like a crazy line. There's a crazy line. There's like, oh yeah, I am here for the production of the thing that you produce out of like desire for more, or out of a desire for something different, or just out of love. Yes, please. What we don't want is like, I got so fucking mad. Okay, so like I have a Discord server for my patrons, and one of my Discord babies informed me that they were getting anonymous hate.
I remember this.
I got so mad saying Crystal deserves better than you and all of this nasty stuff. You should leave Hannah alone. Like all these nasty things. And I went public on Twitter like, go fuck yourself. Like, don't ever speak to my fans that way. And if you do, you're not my fan. Just don't. That's not okay.
If somebody is messaging us a lot or like tweeting at us a lot, we're pumped about it most of the time. Like, I don't, unless they're being rude. Like, if they're just supporting us every time we post something, we love it.
Yes.
Don't ever tell them that they're being annoying. They're not. No. If they respond to everything we say, great. It's a great time. We're having a conversation. And even if we don't reply every single time, I still probably glanced at it. Like, and it's a good time. I don't know. Don't yell at other people. I can do that. I can yell at people if I want to.
Do you guys ever get like insanely like defensive of your fans? Because I feel like it happens all the time. Like if I ever see anyone being rude to my fans, I'm just like, you leave this person alone.
Yeah,
I will cut them.
If anybody replies to a comment, like, calm down or something like that, I'm like, go fuck yourself. They're excited. They can be excited.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know, just let them fan. You know what I mean? If I notice a negativity happening amongst many fans, that's when you say, hey, you set the standard as an influencer and a creator. Don't do that, guys. It's not okay. I will take that responsibility. It's not your responsibility.
Yes.
You know, if you see somebody leaving a death threat, please, by all means, say, don't do that shit. You know, like, but that's the only time you're really allowed to speak for me.
It's like
somebody's
legitimate
just being happy, let them be
happy. If someone's like legitimately harassing,
or you can privately message me that that's occurring.
Yes.
And I will put a stop to it. Like, just either tweet at me or privately message me or something, and I'll be like, oh shit, I need to take care of this. I had somebody message me that somebody was making fan art of me and then getting hate about it being too close to my art style or something. And I know. And I hate that when people are like, she's copying your art style. Fucking good. Copy my art style. Great. I don't care. It's public use. Take it. I'm thrilled. I love seeing people draw like me. It's the shittiest way to draw. I'm thrilled somebody else likes it.
I know.
Yeah, I get that all the time, that people are like getting shit on for drawing like me, and that's insane. Don't. No. All right.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah, do it.
What?
In terms of the DCL, in terms of Supernatural, definitely has an impact on the show to the point where like they kill off most female characters that Dean could like ever be with.
Oh yeah, be with.
And
same.
Like what's his name? They had to bring Misha Collins because he was like, there was a point where like his arc was ending or something. He was leaving the series, and they had to bring him back because the ratings just started crashing.
Well, he's a fan favorite. They love him.
Anytime they introduce, I remember there was like a brief moment, I think before season 9, where the writers had toyed with the idea of hooking Dean up with a girl to bring him back from the bad thing that was happening. And the character ended up being in there, but she was just a one-night stand. There was huge backlash, like flame wars about the fact that how the fuck dare the writers not do that? Like, if they don't make DCL canon, we'll march on the writer's room. And I was like, let Dean be happy. I got so mad. But it's just for that reason, a potential story arc was cut completely from season 9 because of how negatively the fans reacted. And that's officially affecting a piece of art because of the fandom.
See, it sucks because it's like, what do you do at that point if you're writing something and you're like, I want this to go this way, but then you find out that there's only an audience for it if you do it a different way. Like, what do you do?
Kill off
as an artist,
or you make her a lesbian?
Go the way you want it to be and like let it die or go the other way.
I'm down with it, by the way, but it's kind of
Charlie's like one of my favorite characters.
She's great,
but that's why they killed Joe.
Yeah, it's a good time.
I know.
I said that in one of my things. I was like, and then they killed Joe, and the fans were like, hooray. And everybody was like, not me. I was like, that's why they killed Joe. Don't lie. Don't fret. You know that's why they killed her. Yeah. Anyway, I mean, Supernatural's it's a really well-known example. But we also have, going back to like creators inciting like us saying like, hey, don't do that. Yes, let's do that. People like Rice Gum and like Leafy is here and Lonesian and like those kinds of people.
Your behavior as a creator, you are not directly responsible for everything, but if you incite bullying, you are directly responsible for that. If you call out a specific person and you list their name and how to get to their channel, and then you shit on them, you are directly responsible for the negative feedback that goes to their channel and makes them to try and commit suicide, leave the internet, stop being creative, fucking hate themselves, need therapy. You are directly responsible for that.
Yeah.
Pretty much. YouTubers...
That makes me crazy.
Yeah.
I hate that.
I feel like YouTubers are responsible to the mass of their audience. You can't control every single bit of it, but you're responsible to the mass. Like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, for a perfect example, swatting and doxing. We mentioned that earlier. Basically, if you guys don't know, it's essentially somebody getting a hold of somebody else's personal information and either doxing it, which is leaking private phone numbers, social security numbers, addresses, full legal names on the internet, and just putting it on Reddit and saying, have fun ruining this person's life, Reddit, and then people will do it. That's fucked up. Don't do that. And then there's swatting, which is getting somebody's address and then reporting that there's a hostage situation or something going on there. And then the SWAT team will show up and bad things happen.
Yep. So this happened in 2017. A big one happened with the Call of Duty fandom. There was this guy that was fucking pissed off at this other guy. He doxed him and then called the SWAT team on him, and somebody ended up getting shot and dying. This is very serious. Live? It's not a prank. I don't remember. It sounds familiar.
When people try and like prank with swatting, a lot of the time it's on live streamers. They'll wait until the person is live streaming and then they'll call the SWAT team so that they can see it happen.
That's happened a lot. I don't think the one where the guy was shot was live, but you are the worst. That's not a prank. It's not fun.
Don't do it.
That's not a fun time. This prank culture of really mean, life-ruining things has got to stop. Because it's not a prank. You're just being a douche.
Did you guys watch Johnny Knoxville on Hot Ones?
No. I don't think so.
Okay. if you guys don't know what Hot Ones is a show where the celebrities like eat hot, really, really, really spicy chicken wings, and they get interviewed, and it's funny because they're like, it's so hot. Well, Johnny Knoxville was recently on one, and I, I've been following the Jackass situation since I was like 14, and there was a question that the interviewer asked where he was like, in the world and a culture of YouTube pranks getting more and more ridiculous with swatting and that kind of stuff, you were like the OG prank dude. What do you think about that? And he looked down, he just was thoughtful, and he was just like, that's not, like, that's a dark place, man. Yeah. He's like, you can elicit an intense reaction from somebody and not hurt any. And he was like, everything we've ever done has been self-directed. So if we're doing it to ourselves, we are doing it to a friend, and everybody's in on it, and we're trying to elicit a reaction from the public. But everybody that the thing is happening to is aware, is trained, and knows what's happening.
Yeah.
And he's like, you don't have to get to such a dark place to get such an interesting reaction. And he's like, that's not safe.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's coming from Johnny fucking Knoxville. He lost 2 teeth filming his last movie. Okay.
Yes, I think that is a very good statement. And this isn't like a recent thing. Like Punk'd did this a lot too with Ashton Kutcher. I think that's with Ashton Kutcher, right?
Yeah, it was Ashton.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they had fun ones, like the one with Neil Patrick Harris where the bear was in his car. That one was so fun. And he was so chill about it. Did you see that? You guys need to look up that one. It's so fucking funny. He's just like, he keeps making bear puns. The bear situation. It's so funny. And then there's ones where they fake get somebody evicted from their house. That's not so fun. No. That's a real dark situation that person has to really think about if they're going to be homeless, if they're going to live with it. That's not as fun. Put a bear in their car. Don't evict them from their house. This is the type of prank.
Ashton used to always count the damages. So he would, if he puts a bear in somebody's car, he either paid for the car or it was a duplicate car. It was never actually destructing somebody's property.
Yes.
And it just, but anyway.
Yes.
Moral of the story
and a wrong way to do things.
Yes. And swatting and doxing is not funny.
Yes. Yeah.
It's toxic. That is toxic fandom 101.
Yeah, this is bad.
Another toxic thing that recently happened was the meme culture around Millie Bobby Brown and
my daughter.
homophobic memes.
I was gonna cut some motherfuckers. They're hurting my daughter, my child. I've adopted her. She doesn't know.
Yeah, agreed.
She's such a sweetheart. Yeah,
I love her. Fucking Millie Bobby Brown. I don't even know where it got started, but somebody just started.
So it's kind of like this weird, anti-humor, I guess? I don't know what to call it. But essentially there were a bunch of, homophobic Millie Bobby Brown memes. So Millie Bobby Brown is, she's the girl from Stranger Things. She's, 14, 13.
She's 14.
Kid.
Yeah.
She's a babe.
She is a kid. And she was, she left Twitter because of these homophobic memes. But essentially what it is because Millie Bobby Brown is very obviously pro LGBT and she's an advocate and everything, people started making these anti memes of her saying stuff like, oh, die homo, blah blah blah, just really really offensive shit because she would never say it. And I don't know how some people got a kick out of that, because in my head that's just if I just think about it, if that was me, I would be I'd be more so upset. I'm just that's not funny. That's, I don't know. And it's if she's clearly not okay with it, stop doing it. If you want to have your weird anti-humor, as long as it's not affecting the person, then I'm not gonna say anything. I wouldn't care. But this is a 14-year-old girl.
Yeah.
And you have bullied her off of this platform.
She's too young for that. Don't do that.
The argument people were having were it's just a joke. Anybody who knows her knows she's not like that. That's why it's funny. Yes, but there are people who haven't watched Stranger Things who don't know who the fuck she is and will see that and just be oh, she's a bitch, huh? I don't fucking do it.
I just don't. And honestly, don't do that to anybody. Even, like, I hate the ones that are, I'm not a fan of Donald Trump, if you didn't know.
No.
Even the ones that have fake Donald Trump, you're just spreading misinformation.
I know.
Like, why are you doing this? Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah. I hate
there
those
are so many
quotes.
real things that you could point out.
Yeah.
You don't need to make them up.
Yeah, for real.
Like, you're making everyone look stupid.
You are making everybody look stupid. Yeah, you are hurting every cause. That is not a good time. But literally, just yeah, we have so many very specific incidents. One of my personal favorite awful things that's ever happened is the Steven Universe thing where. Okay, Steven Universe, most wholesome show maybe ever.
It's amazing.
So awesome
it's so
and wholesome.
Perfect.
And it's gorgeous. It's such a gorgeous show.
It's so good.
Oh my
so
God.
beautiful. The backgrounds are amazing.
I have taken so many screenshots of backgrounds just to study and like how they did this. It's the artist's dream show, and it's also so cute and funny too. I don't know. Anyways, fan artists were drawing Rose Quartz. Rose Quartz is she's a larger character. So there was a mentally ill artist that was drawing Rose Quartz, and people kept harassing her, saying that she was drawing her too skinny, and it's like fat shaming. And then she was drawing her skin color in racist ways, is what they were saying. So too light skinned or whatever. You're making her look whiter and skinnier than she really is. So anyways, they harassed her until she attempted suicide. So that's still cool. Don't. It's a fan artist. Literally stop unless she's saying actually racist things, and even then you don't send her death threats. You don't do that. You don't do that.
I haven't seen that particular incident, but on Tumblr I've seen a post floating around of something similar where there was I think the artist was African American themselves, and they were drawing, I think, Shuri from Black Panther.
Yeah.
I think. I'm not entirely sure. Don't quote me on this. But they were drawing Shuri, or maybe T'Challa, the main character. Anyway, they drew somebody, and the skin color was a little off, a little too light, and they did the same exact thing, death threats, to the point that this artist was like, I'm done making fan art.
Yeah.
And they made a post being like, I am black. I just really like this character.
You are the kind of people that make me scared to do cultural representation in my...
Yeah.
Don't you want cultural representation? This is what you're shouting for, is representation. And then you're going to attack anybody who's trying their best? Are you kidding me?
Also, coloring is hard.
It's so hard.
I don't do it because I'm bad at it. Trying to get the perfect color for something is super fucking hard.
It's very hard.
And lighting and all of that stuff just
and the way the colors interact. It's
people are trying their best.
Hard.
It makes me so upset to hear that. And then you have artists just loving a thing, wanting to make a thing, and then they're like, it's not exactly the way I think it should be, kill yourself. And it's like, wow.
This was a strong...
Fucking relax.
Yeah. You are having strong feelings about something that is not that serious, I promise you.
And it doesn't affect you personally. I don't And speaking of this, it reminds me, I keep going back to your video, Hannah.
Yeah.
One of Hannah's oldest videos, one of the first videos I ever saw of Hannah before we met in real life was Hannah's about
with the
fangirling.
Most dislikes that I've ever made.
I loved that video. I was like, yes, I love to see
it.
somebody calling out toxic fandom culture. Get it. But I met Hannah and she's like, oh yeah, that scared me.
People were sending me death threats still. I still get new comments of death threats on there. I did it so diplomatically too. It's such a mundane video. I did not take as strong of a stance as I wanted to. And people were so pissed off. Fangirls do not want to be told not to fangirl. And that's not what we're saying.
No.
We're just saying fangirl responsibly.
Yes. Drink responsibly, fangirl responsibly.
Fangirling responsibly is the best thing you can do. You've got to be responsible about it. Mm-hmm. It's fangirling is literally a drug. It's like a high. It really is a high. You have to do it responsibly.
You hurt people.
Yes. If you've ever been to VidCon, it's absolutely incredible. Oh my God.
Jesus. Yeah.
How... I don't even know how to put it. And not even just VidCon, but any boy band concert. It's very specific to girls, and I'm not a very gender specific person, but this is very specifically teenage girls. Mm-hmm. They just lose all sense of self-awareness, sense of self, sense of what to do in a public situation, and they just go nuts. Have more self-respect than that. Respect yourself. Respect the people around you. Listen, they did not hang the moon like you think they did. They're probably a piece of shit. Let's be real here.
No, honestly, I think the most unhealthy thing about toxic fandom culture, not to cut you off, Hannah, just to expand.
Do it.
Is this unrealistic expectations of perfection for the person, this idolatry of this person. Newsflash, myself, Hannah, and Echo have flaws.
Oh, so many.
We can be annoying. We can be needy. We can be critical.
Secret lives.
We have stuff that you don't know. Okay, we're typically fine, but we have problems. Okay, and I think the biggest thing that people in fandom culture likes to ignore is that this person is perfect. People reflect or project what they want this person to be, and because you pick and choose what you put on the internet, it's like, I'm going to say 20% of who you are for real is on the internet. And that's still true to who you are. But there are parts of you that people don't know. And the moment that expectation that they had is like not met, they're like, oh, you're not perfect. Or, oh, you don't think this. Or, oh, you don't agree with this. Or, oh, you blah, blah, blah. They are like, puke fire on you.
It's awful.
Like, relax.
If you meet me in person, you will be amazed with how annoying, tall, sweaty, and loud I am. I am so annoying and tall and loud and sweaty. It's just who I am in a nutshell.
I mean, I think we're all, I don't know. We all have downfalls. We have
and I cannot pronounce your name. I swear to God, I won't be able to.
Yeah. I'm so sorry I can't pronounce your name.
I'm so awkward when I meet people for the first time.
It's because it's on the spot. If I met you in any other situation, I'd be fine. But because I'm in this situation, if you give me your friend's name and put a video camera in front of me and tell me to say hi to them, I won't be able to pronounce your friend's name. One time it took me 15 tries to get it right. Oh, no. I wanted to vomit. I was like, I just felt like the dumbest person in the whole world. And Tony was looking at me like, are you okay? I was like, I'm not. I'm not okay.
I think the best way to approach avoiding unhealthy idolatry that leads to a toxic fandom is almost kind of like how fangirls accept fictional characters with their flaws. So it's like, I like this character because they, are judgmental, or because they have a character arc, or because they're kind of a dick and they're trying to get over it. I think if we take that approach to real people, like, hey, this person has a character arc, they have problems, then shit that they're trying to get better by, it would be a little bit, I guess, more forgiving.
I feel like part of the thing with, like, the whole being flawed in fictional characters is that fictional characters' flaws are intentional. Yeah. And so it's like, even YouTubers, the flaws that we show you are intentional.
Yeah.
Like, we have flaws
this is true.
that you would be like, oh no, you're a human. Like, it's like a prime example I can think of is just like religion. Because I'm not a particularly religious person, when I'm watching people, I project and think, oh, they're also probably not very religious. They don't talk about religion, but they're actually just not talking about religion. Yeah. And it's like, in actuality, all these different people have all different kinds of faiths, and until they actually say something, and then it's like, oh, I didn't even stop to consider that. There are so many things about us that you have not stopped to consider that are part of our lives.
You don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Don't project yourself on us. We're just living our lives the best we can. Like, if you're gonna be like, hey, what's up? And just say hi, like, I am here for it. But if you're gonna tell me that I'm the most perfect person in the whole world, I'm gonna pee my pants. I'm gonna be really stressed.
Yeah.
Like,
and I know it comes from a good place. I know it comes from a good place too. That's why it's like, you're so sweet, but at the same time, like, please don't put me on this pedestal. Like, I'm just not. I'm really not. Yeah. Like, it's okay.
I didn't save your life. I didn't do anything. No. I didn't do any of that. You did that yourself. I was just fucking around. Like, I was just fucking around. I was just living. Yeah.
And I think a lot of toxic fandom culture stems from this person is perfect.
I think
this person is what I need to be. This person from 21 Pilots, or this person from this blah blah blah. This person is perfect.
This couple is perfect. Yeah. Tony and I have fights, did you know? It's crazy.
Dude. Yeah. David and I have been together for 8 years, married for 6. Newsflash, we have tits and tats. You know what I mean? Like, we don't always gel, like, and it's okay, we love each other, more than we are like what we're fighting about, and that's always what comes out of it, because people are imperfect. Like,
and that's cool.
And it just
yeah. All right. Hey, what's a positive thing?
Okay.
Let's think about it.
Okay. When you fangirl responsibly, it's good for you. Like, it feels good.
Yeah.
It's just doing it responsibly and kind of in moderation.
I mean, Tumblr made my career. So I'm not going to be too critical. Like, as much as I hate Tumblr, I also can't too much because it did make me who I am right now. I wouldn't be able to make videos for a living if it wasn't for Tumblr. So, you know, I'm grateful in the same way that Smash Mouth is grateful for All Star. You know?
Basically.
I'm grateful, I guess.
I would probably say positive note is fangirling or fandoming is like the best fucking thing. It is like, it helps people out of depression. It gives people a sense of camaraderie. It makes you feel like you're not alone. It stimulates your creativity. It makes you feel like you belong to something, like you have a tribe, and it is so fucking good for those reasons. All I can say is learn to laugh at yourself. Don't take it so seriously.
Don't take anything seriously.
Understand that whatever you're obsessing over is flawed, and it's okay. If anything, it makes the thing better.
Yes.
And when you get to that point, fandoming is just like a nonstop high. So do it.
Hell yeah.
But be safe.
I'm about to go fangirl over 2 New Zealand boys. Fly the Concords.
Oh yeah. I'm so excited for you.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna fangirl hard. They're like 40-year-old men, but I'm here to fangirl.
I love them.
They're amazing. The content they make, the music they make is so good.
It's very solid stuff. I'm out of my mind excited.
We just watched What We Do in the Shadows, I think is what it's called.
Yes.
Last night.
Oh my god, Jermaine, yeah.
I love it.
He's
the best.
A talented dude.
He's the best. He's so good.
All right. Hey, you want to say your platforms?
Yes. You can find us every Monday on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Did we get SoundCloud?
Not yet, because I'm in Ireland.
Okay, we're still working on SoundCloud.
It's going to happen.
Okay.
It'll happen eventually.
Yes.
SoundCloud is on the way.
Okay. And our handles are...
At Happy Panda Party.
At Echo is Weird.
And at The Crystal Joy.
And remember, friends, the human body cannot survive without salt. Thank you for listening.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.